7:01, we'll call the meeting to order. First item up, Chief Young. Would you like to-
I just had a couple of things. As you are aware, we had a tree limb come down on top of our cruiser a few weeks ago. Should be getting that back from Falmouth Ford here this week. Dealing with Primex and Falmouth Ford, it was over our deductible. Our deductible was $1,000, which is 25% of my cruiser maintenance budget for the year. So I'm proposing to take $1,000 if the board agrees on the needs of hurdle account. So pay for that, keep my budget in line. I don't really want to take $1,000 hit the first month or two of the year. So we're responsible for $1,000. You know, it's probably going to come in, you know, once it's done, right, $4,000 or $5,000, but Primex will cover the rest of that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm proposing on that front.
Any questions? Yes. No, we're all good with this.
Now that one that comes back, that will give us 4 cars. I don't know past administrations on cruises. The officer wrote a lot of details. Our oldest car is 2015, has 81,000 miles, almost 7,000 hours. So our mechanic did go through it. It passed inspection. Should probably be a primary control car if needed, but details or idling time, I would like to hold on to that car just with
Just for detail?
details. I call Primex, it costs $500 a year to insure it. I make that a week on that car. There's no issues with that car at all right now. I would propose until, and if something major happens, then we will do, but what we're going to get either in an auction or a sealed bid is not going to compare to what we make on that.
So the revenue will be based on the detail.
Yeah, and I would notice firsthand what happens when we have 3 cars. The advantage we had before, we saw it during the Christmas weekend storm where I could have 5 cars out. There's been some situations this last couple of weeks with 3, having that 4th car change, especially with one of the main cars having a problem with it.
Are you expecting, given the storms that we've had, I would imagine that there's going to be a lot more tree work come the spring here?
I don't know about the town, obviously there's a lot of cleanup. A lot of it's on state roads, so obviously they present for, they have their own flaggers for the state. But there's a lot, even right now, Comcast is trying to update, people fit in and consolidated, they're doing things. We don't have a lot of work in town right now, we did around Christmas time and all this stuff, but, Brentwood's calling us a lot, Durham, so the officers are traveling. Cruises are making money, and it looks like, from what I can gather, it looks like past administrations, had a car every 2 years, they had 13 and a 15, the 13's not gone, I don't know when they got rid of that, but we have a 15, and an 18, a 20, and a 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as long as that car is not costing us money, and it's making us money, I think it's smart to hold on to it.
What's the ballpark idea of the value of that car?
I wouldn't have either, because it's, basically who would try to buy that as a taxi company, possibly, send it to New York City or something like that.
4 or 5 grand. It's not
Sealed bid, I've seen the sealed bid, you go to auction, it's like maybe 2,000.
Okay.
You're talking 7,000 hours, idling hours on that car. There's different formulas out there for that. You're talking 500,000 miles. If you add up with what's on it for actual miles and then the hours.
And yeah, the idling hours.
It's a lot of idle hours.
That's hard.
It is in good shape. We spent some money last year for an axle on it, but we had to because that's all we had was 3 cars. And it was used part-time as a patrol unit by some part-timers. Moving forward, wear and tear with the idling details, and it's making us money.
Do you expect to be able to get like a couple more years out of this detail? And then maybe do the same thing, rotate that one out, move the 18 down to your detail car?
Yeah, I'm looking at the different state bids on the cruises. They're run up with like everything else. There's a surplus now waiting. but the cars have gone up about $10,000 since last year, from when we purchased this one out here in 2022. I'm gonna wait until the 2024. Granted, we got 22, but we didn't get it until almost 23.
Yeah.
So, you know, that being said, it did throw off the cycle a little bit, but we're in pretty good shape right now. And like I said, as long as it's making, the details are there.
How much are you making on a detail a year?
We made $106,000 last year. With the cruises, and admin fees and cruiser fees. That's admin fees and cruiser fees.
Yes.
Granted, we still have some outstanding invoices from some vendors. We have about $50,000 in the account right now, but
It's paying for
we
it.
billed out over 300 and some odd thousand, and we made about 106.
Great.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
And one last thing, I want to give you an update on the administrative assistant position. Like he was board a few months ago, administrative assistant, so gave her a resignation, was going to be January 31st. She was flexible regarding that. We did have a small process where we advertised the position on the New Hampshire municipal website. Didn't have a lot of success with applicants. We had one, we interviewed the person, it just wasn't the right fit or qualifications. We re-advertised the position using different media platforms. Indeed, we had 62 applicants. We are interviewing between 6 and 8 on Wednesday. So Lisa has offered to stay until end of February.
Okay.
So as long, now we did have some good applicants withdraw for various reasons. I'm confident that we should be able to find someone out of this process. But like I said at the beginning, I don't want to just hire a whole body because it's a very important position. We have to go through the process, we'll go through the process. Yep.
Okay. Questions? Issues?
And the other thing is just, I know it's on the agenda about the asset forfeiture. That was just more an FYI regarding the select board. That is something that was set up in past administrations that basically we don't have any money in there yet. We did have.
You talking about the DOJ agreement?
DOJ asset forfeiture. Basically, it's an agreement with the Department of Justice regarding asset forfeitures. You know, we did have a pretty big asset forfeiture that we received some stuff several years ago under Chief Reed's administration. That money has been spent, obviously there's guidelines and stipulations on what you can spend it on, but you have to do a yearly agreement with DOJ just in case we do have something in town and we get some share of the federal funds with the federal government, either DA, FBI, or whatever, so we have to have this agreement in place for us to our share.
So,
We filed everything. We were delinquent on it. It was actually still in Nate's name and email. So we had this filled out and signed it electronically. I wanted to make the board aware of it. Basically, it had to be electronically signed by the chairman of the board, the select board. So we did that back on February 1st, which was last week, because we were very close of, we were not in good standards.
what are the implications if we don't enter into this equitable sharing?
I don't know all the implications other than if something happens and there's a forfeiture where we have a joint investigation with a federal partner, say if we get funding, property, a house, car, money. There was a pretty large forfeiture here in town several years ago, and the police department received some forfeiture money from the federal government once the case was disposed of. And even though the balance right now is zero, you have to have this yearly agreement with DOJ just to have in place in
Or else you get zero.
case there's any forfeitures in the future. You gotta have that agreement in place with them, almost like a fund where the money will go.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've seen this before.
I have not. I have
It
not.
shows like it's a yearly.
If the last time that they did it was under art, then I would have never seen this, because art,
But
It was in Nate's name, it came from Nate, and Nate had a username and password, and it looks like the last time it was done was in 2020.
I've never seen this. But again, 2020, That was probably Chris.
Okay.
Um,
Even go from the board, because it just requires these kind of electronic signature.
I understand. Look, little advice. I'm not trying to beat up on you here.
Yeah.
But if you guys are gonna sign for the chairman of the board of selectmen, you damn well should let him know before the hell you do it. Don't do that. I mean, personally, I have some issues about the way the federal government does forfeitures. I do.
There is a bill up there that they remove currently in the legislature. For that.
Yep. And I know that there's activity in Congress always because of some of the concerns about the way that some departments act, go about dealing with forfeiture. And again, I'm not implying that that's where you're at, but I do think going forward, you guys need to give a heads up to the board before you do it.
That's not a problem, that's my bad. I just figured that you guys were aware of past administrations.
No, haven't seen it at all. I don't recall ever seeing this form now. I could be wrong. It may have come up at some point. But like I said, if it's just signed by the chairman of the board, it may have been Chris who was dealing with it. So,
It will come up again next year unless this bill passes, we'll address it then.
okay.
Why didn't it come up? Is it a 3-year?
I don't know why it didn't come up last year. We still have Nate's email open. There's a lot of things that,
But even if it was signed in 2020, that's 21, 22.
it's every year. It wasn't signed last year. So that's why I received an email that we get 2 months in order for what's going. We're basically this letter that we're a non-compliant email that I received.
You got, was it in the notice?
I received an email notice,
Okay.
actually sent to Nate that we were in non-compliance as of February 1st. So that's why we moved on it. I had to try to find emails and passwords and all that stuff that was trying to get on there. Get this stuff, right, and stuff, so.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Anyone else?
I'm just wondering why it didn't come up. I'm just thinking, like, why weren't you notified last year when it wasn't signed? Or,
You know, we're always getting notified of change of regime administrations and stuff. I don't recall receiving an email, because all Nate's emails get forwarded to me now, just because.
Do these typically go at the end of the year or around February for us, or?
Well, from what the email said, the agency must submit the SACB and eShare report no later than 2 months after the end of the agency's fiscal year, which we would be at the end of February, I think, but
But
last year we
DOJ,
didn't
that
do-
would be.
What's that?
If it's DOJ's fiscal year, it's October.
well, it says our fiscal year, agent's fiscal year, so our agent's fiscal year is January 1st to December 31st. So I can forward this email so you have the
Yeah, please do.
I can forward that to you. Like I said, I was surprised when I received that this last week. It was actually a week ago tomorrow. It's just a week ago Wednesday, so on today's Tuesday. So I can forward that to you.
Okay.
I can't speak to why I did not receive it last year.
I'm just curious.
Did I miss it? Maybe. I mean, it was busy.
Well,
But it would have been 2 years. I mean, if it wasn't signed in 2021, then it would be
Yeah.
2022. So why is it just now that we're getting you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Good with spam.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't recall ever seeing this at all.
Looks like it's been set up for a decade.
We're not reserved.
I think the asset forfeiture from what happened here in town was 10, 12 years ago.
So not a bad thing to have in place, correct? Like, I mean,
I've never had any experience with it. I know there's some sort of guidelines on what the funding can be used for. I can't speak to what the police department used that funding for. I'm looking, I'm sure Garner has that information. I was hoping there was some things in.
Do you know when that took place?
There's a whole folder that I located with all this information.
I'd be curious.
I believe it was in 2014 or 15, don't quote me, but I think it was about 8 years ago when the money was
Okay.
used.
I'd just be curious about that, because I was unaware that the town ever had a forfeiture. Okay.
I don't know the facts on that forfeiture.
No,
I don't have anybody in the department that was here. Well, well, you know what, being competitive here, but, Chris might have named a company.
Yeah, part-time video.
Yeah, so, I don't think it was much of the federal agencies did most of the investigation.
Mhm.
It was a pretty big fortune.
Okay.
So,
All right,
thank you.
thank you, chief. All right, other business. We have an email from Virginia Parks regarding mailbox issue. There's a correspondence between Sue and Virginia there. Sue, Keisha, so she sent a picture of the damage?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I see the note here, she sent a picture of the damage?
Yes, when it didn't come out when I tried printing, it was too large, like that was a piece of the
Yeah.
board thing. So, but it was on the ground, and it was gone.
I don't have a problem providing $50 stipend for the damage. Granted, maybe it's outside of the 10-foot right of way, but
I'm good.
I don't have a problem with you.
I do not.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the $50 stipend for Virginia Parks for her mailbox that was damaged at the last. Second by Hogan, all in favor?
I would like to see this RSA that she cites first and to see.
Associated with the 10-foot right of way?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to defer the vote?
No, I think we should give her the stipend for $50.
Right.
But not have that be the end of our liability if RSA says otherwise.
No, understood. Yeah, I'll see if I can track it down, I'll talk to Sue about getting a copy and then we'll circulate. Great. So all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. All right, checks we did.
There's one manifest left.
That's Mr. Stuff. So here, I'll to you. We have the MS 636, which is our proposed budget. This will be the proposed budget that we address tomorrow night at deliberative. If you want to just take a quick look, we need to sign the MS 636. Any issues, questions, concerns about the 636?
No.
No.
I'll make a motion to accept the MS 636 and certify it by the board.
Second.
Second by Jackie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have the 2023 warrant, if you want to take a look at that. These are the warrant articles we've reviewed. And again, small edits were made to reflect the ERA's requests for language. And also Article 1 is now the summer in Pleasant Street because of the borrowing under that warrant article.
I have 2 copies here, Keisha. There's not a difference, right?
Oh, no, he has the originals, you just have a copy, it's probably my copy.
Oh.
It's no big deal.
You have to find the difference.
There's one here.
Yes, exactly. One number is misdone. Any questions about the warrant?
Motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the warrant as written for 2023.
Second.
Second by Opie, all in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we'll do cartographic. If you just want to take a quick look at that. We talked about cartographic at our last meeting. As a follow-up to that, there were some questions about whether cartographic was actually confirming tax property boundaries. In discussions with Sue, cartographic is really, their services are taking information and putting it into the digital files. They aren't actually going out and surveying. So this is really, I know that Derek had raised some issues or some questions about this. Cartographic services don't really deal with the questions that he raises. This is what, they're purely taking this and turning it into shape files and digital files for, GIS and other type of services for our property. So I'll open it up for questions or other comments about this. And the cartographic contract.
This is a continuing contract with them?
This will be, they've been providing these services now for several years. Again, it's a digitization contract. I think it's only for $2,100. Yeah, $2,100. It's not a big contract. It's just, the services they provide is really that digitization for us. As we live, this really comes in when you get like the new development up on the Leap, where you're now having that parcel subdivided. They'll take that information, digitize that, so that will go into all the databases with new lot lines and where the street center lines are, where the, any designated other digital stuff, digital items are in the record. Any other questions? No? I'll make a motion to approve the CAI contract for 2023 through 2024.
Second.
Second by Jackie. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right. Public business we have are minutes and revenue and expenditures. Taking a minute to look at those.
I'd like to defer the 24th minutes.
The 24th? No problem. Easy peasy. take a look at the minutes for the
Yes.
hearing? Okay, great. I will, I'll move the minutes for the public hearing for January 31st.
Second.
Second by Hobie. All in favor of the meeting minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
On the
Aye.
31st?
Yeah,
Aye.
great, thank you. Any questions about the revenues and expenses? I mean, it's obviously the first one of the year. I think the variances are all off, but so it's not set to the revised budget, but I'm sure that'll be fixed for the next time. Gives you an idea though what's come in and what's gone out the door.
What's the balance on the general fund right now?
On what?
Is the general fund where?
The unreserved fund balance? The undesignated fund balance? It's, as of the end of the year, it was somewhere on the order of about $1 million, give or take. I haven't, the auditors usually come up with the final number for us based on, what comes in and, what cleared, but it's somewhere around that number. Okay. I think that's everything for the public meeting. I'll make a motion to go into non-public at 7:28 under 91A3, dealing with contracts.
I'm sorry, 91, what is it?
91A3, trying to find which one it is.
Oh, okay.
Not reputation, acquisition of real property, negotiation of pending claims, no, pending claims, no? What's that?
Right?
Which one?
E? No?
I think it is E. I think contracts fall under E, pending claims. Just leave it as E.